The Import Economy, Episode 4. The Exit Ramp. This episode is addressed directly to people who have participated in, paid for, or are considering the exploitation of others. You are not too far gone, but you need to hear this. Estimated runtime, 11 minutes. Colorado Springs, Colorado, March 2026. National Trafficking Hotline, 1-888-373-7888. Text HELP to 233733. 24 hours, confidential. Stop it now. Confidential helpline, 1-888-773-8368. For people concerned about their own thoughts or behavior. Free. SAMHSA National Helpline, 1-800-6624-357. Treatment referral, 24 hours, confidential. This episode is not for the people who were horrified by what we covered in the first three. They're already with us. This is for the people who listened to those episodes and felt something uncomfortable and specific, not outrage, not sympathy, something quieter, something that sits in the chest differently than regular discomfort does. You know who you are. This is for you. You are not too far gone. Whatever you've done, paid for someone, used someone, looked the other way when you knew what you were looking at, told yourself it was transactional and therefore neutral, told yourself they wanted it, told yourself everyone does this. You are not past the point where it stops being yours to change. That point exists. You don't want to find out where it is by arriving at it. The exit ramp is here. It gets harder to take the further down the road you go. That's not a threat. That's just geography. The record already exists. There's something you need to understand, and I'm not delivering it with anger. I'm delivering it the way you tell someone their tire is flat before they get on the highway. The record already exists. Every transaction leaves a record. Every device leaves a record. You didn't do the thing and then have it disappear. You did the thing, and it was written down by the infrastructure of modern life, which doesn't have a conscience, but does have an excellent memory. Device location was logged. Not maybe, it was. Cell towers, GPS, app data, all of it time-stamped and stored. Financial transactions, cash apps, cards, transfers, create trails that financial investigators are trained to follow. Cash is harder to trace. It is not impossible. Platforms used to facilitate contact retain message logs. When those platforms cooperate with law enforcement, and increasingly they do, those logs become evidence. If video or photo exists, it exists permanently. Metadata embeds location, device, and timestamp. And the people you did this with, or to, remember. Memory is its own kind of record. The question isn't whether evidence exists. The question is whether it will be assembled, and when, and what your life looks like on the day that happens. Is it worth it? That's the only question, and it is genuinely yours to answer. Your options, honestly listed. Some of you did something once, or a few times, and have been carrying it since. Some have built a habit. Some aren't sure what to call it. Those are different situations, with different answers, but they have answers. Option 1. Just stop. 4. People who did something, know it was wrong, haven't made it a pattern. For some people, this is the complete answer. Decide. Stop. Don't do it again. You don't need a program or a hotline or a support group. You need to make a decision. and live inside it. And if it helps, tell one person you trust that you made it. That makes it more real. No resource required, just the decision. Option 2, individual therapy. 4, people who've tried to stop and haven't been able to. People who want to understand the why. A therapist who specializes in sexual compulsivity can help you understand what's actually driving this, because the behavior is rarely the whole story. It's usually covering something else. Therapy is confidential. Therapists are not mandatory reporters for adult behavior. You don't have to confess a crime to get help changing a pattern. ATSA, Association for the Treatment of Sexual Abusers, has a professional directory at atsa.com. Psychology Today's Therapist Finder lets you search by specialty and insurance. Option 3, support groups. 4, people who need community, accountability, and to know they're not the only one who's had to fight this. Anonymous peer support programs exist for people dealing with sexual compulsivity. They are not religious requirements. They are not public shaming. They're rooms full of people who are also trying, meeting regularly because the trying is easier when it's not entirely private. Sex Addicts Anonymous, SAA-recovery.org. Sexual Compulsives Anonymous, SCA-recovery.org. Both have in-person and online meetings. Option 4, medical evaluation. 4, people who genuinely can't understand why they can't stop. People wondering if something neurological is a factor. Some compulsive behaviors have neurological, hormonal, or psychiatric contributors that can be assessed and addressed medically. This isn't an excuse. It's information. Certain medications can reduce compulsive urges significantly. A psychiatrist or primary care physician can evaluate whether this is a factor. I'm having trouble with compulsive behavior and want to see if there's a medical component. That's enough to say. SAMHSA at 1-800-6624-357 can refer you to medical providers. Option 5, the Stop It Now helpline. 4, anyone worried about their own thoughts or behaviors. Anyone who wants to talk before they do something they can't undo. Stop It Now exists specifically for this. Confidential. Free. Staffed by people who have heard everything and are not there to report you. They are there to help you stop before you cause harm. Or more harm. This is the call that interrupts the pattern before the pattern becomes irreversible. 1-888-7738-368. There's also an online chat if calling feels like too much. Same confidentiality. Option 6, legal counsel. 4, people who are already in a legal situation or believe they are about to be. If you've been cited, arrested, or think you may be under investigation, get an attorney before you say anything to anyone. This is not about escaping accountability. It's about having someone who understands the system in your corner. A public defender is available if you can't afford an attorney. Use them. Colorado State Public Defender, 303-764-1400. El Paso County. Ask for appointed counsel at your first appearance. It's your right. A different wave. Here's something that doesn't get said enough in this conversation. The demand side of this economy is not made up of monsters. It's made up of people. People who are isolated or broken in some specific way that nobody helped them fix, or addicted to something they started before they understood what it would cost them, or who simply never learned that other people's pain is real in the same way their own is. That doesn't make it acceptable. It makes it human, which is actually more complicated than making it evil. Because evil you can just oppose. Human, you have to actually work with. The wave that's built on other people, on buying their time, their bodies, their compliance, their silence, that wave eventually breaks. It always does. The question is whether you're still on it when it does. There is a different wave. It requires the same energy, the same showing up, the same early morning, and the same drive. It just doesn't destroy anyone on its way to shore. That wave is available. The entry fee is a decision. You are better than this. I know that might be the first time someone said that to you without something attached to it, without the condition, without the performance required, without the fine print. So let me say it plain. You are better than what you have been doing. Not because you're special, because you're a person, and persons are capable of deciding who they are going to be, and that capacity doesn't expire. It's available to you right now, today, in whatever condition you are in. If your mama never taught you that, or if she did and you stopped believing it somewhere along the way, today is the day. I'm not your mama. I've just been here long enough to know you need to hear this if you're listening. And the fact that you listened all the way to the end of a 4-part series about human trafficking in El Paso County tells me something about you that you might not be saying out loud yet. You're listening. Good. That's the first thing. Now make the call, or make the decision, or make the appointment, or just put the phone down and don't pick up the one that leads where you know it leads. One thing, one step, today. The rest follows from that. Resources, all confidential, all free. Stop it now. 1-888-773-8368. StopItNow.org. Online chat available. SAMHSA. 1-800-662-4357. Free. Confidential treatment referral. 24 hours. Sex Addicts Anonymous. SAA-recovery.org. In-person and online meetings. Trafficking Hotline. 1-888-373-7888. Text HELP to 233-733. CO Public Defender. 303-764-1400. Free if you cannot afford an attorney. You just get home safe. That's all for now. If nothing else, now you've got something to mention at dinner. You don't have to solve anything. Staying aware is enough. If you'd like a small way to help someone directly, there's a community resource link at Pivot True North. You can download it, print a few copies, and keep them in your car. If you see someone who might need it, just leave one. No speech required. And if you want something even simpler, pick up one piece of trash on your way inside. Colorado Springs has about 500,000 people. If each person picked up one piece a day, that's 500,000 pieces gone by sunset. Small things scale quickly. And if something from this series stuck with you, that's probably your lane. Thanks for listening. I'll do my best to interpret local government each week. You just get home safe. The Dais, StorySeedStudios.com. Episode 004. Not affiliated with El Paso County government, and take this review of the agenda with a grain of salt. I have a communications degree, after 7 years for Bachelor of Arts, taking government twice. The second time earned a D. Learn at your own risk.